If someone with aphasia can't say your name, it's not because they don't know your name or because they've forgotten who you are. It's just how our brains work. This happens to people with aphasia all the time. They'll go to talk about their spouse and they'll be like, this is, I know it, right? And they just kind of like hit this wall. And meanwhile, Lisa over there is kind of crushed. She's like, hey, it's me, your loving wife of 43 years. And this is when it's my job as the SLP to step in and explain what's going on, because this is totally normal and there are several things happening here. Today I'm going to talk about 3 different reasons that saying names is hard when you have aphasia. Number 1 is the frequency effect. The words that we use all the time have stronger and more robust pathways in our brain. Let's take, for example, the word water. You might say that 5 times in a day. Drink some water, water the plants, fill the bathtub with water, water the lawn. Hey, do you want some water? And then you say your spouse's name, actually not that often. You probably think about them a lot, but we don't typically walk around saying, Lisa, pass the remote. Lisa, I love you. Lisa, what's for dinner? Hey, Lisa, I'm going to check the mail now. So unless you're really trying to get their attention across the room, Lisa, you probably just say, hey, what's for dinner? Just kind of look at them and start talking. And you might also be one of those people who's like, honey, or babe, hey, sweetheart, right? Which actually makes their name one of the least practiced pathways that you have in your brain. Number 2, how your brain stores information. Facial recognition and name retrieval are not this tidy package deal. They are not tied together, they are separate things. So a lot of times you'll see someone's face and you can recognize them immediately. And you might know where they work and where they live and how you met and memories with them, but be completely unable to access their name. And that is not a memory problem. That is a word retrieval problem at a very specific step of a multi-step process. If I'm being honest with you, language is just complicated. The thoughts that live in our head tend to stay a little bit more intact. Tying those abstract thoughts to words and getting them out your mouth is a totally different story. And if you have aphasia, you probably already know that. But names are tricky. They are not the same as knowing a person or remembering a person. They are a different thing. Number 3, normal aging. I'm going to be honest, this specific phenomenon, difficulty with names, is not even specific to aphasia. It is one of the first things to go in typical cognitive aging. Before faces, before facts, before music, before almost anything else. This vulnerability is baked into the architecture. Our brains are just not made to remember names as well. So aphasia doesn't create this problem, but it does amplify it. And I'm going to get up on my soapbox for a minute here, because if you have experienced difficulty with names, you might be tempted to tell someone with aphasia, oh, I get it. That happens to me all the time. And I just want to say really quick, you do not get it. You kind of get it. You've seen this little glimpse. But for people with aphasia, this is happening a lot more often with a lot more words, and it is a lot more frustrating. So never try to tell someone with aphasia that you get it. Maybe just take this as a learning moment and extend some empathy and say, oh gosh, that must be so frustrating. All right, so let's do a quick summary. Why are names so hard with aphasia? Well, number 1, the frequency effect. You might not actually use names as much as you think you do. Number 2, names and faces are not a package deal. They're separate things, and coming up with the word for someone's name happens several steps down the process, and it's a very specific thing, and it can be hard to get to. And number 3, names are just tricky. Our brains are not really meant to remember them as well, and this is one of the first things to go in normal aging. So all of that to say, if your person looks you in the eyes and can't find your name, don't stress. That is very normal. If you see that look of panic in their eyes, you just gently remind them, Lisa. And you can also tell them, hey, names are hard. It's okay. They know your face. They know your history. They've got memories. They know that they love you. Don't take it personally. Just know that your name is actually one of the hardest words there is. A few quick reminders. If this video is helpful, please like and subscribe so you don't miss out on the next one. If you want more tips and resources for how to improve your communication at home, sign up for my newsletter. You can find that at aphasiawithbree.com/subscribe. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you again soon.